Backups are imperative in any information technology setting. Even if you're just running a personal website or a website for your small business, you need a backup schedule. It doesn't matter that you're not some large corporation or government entity. Everyone needs backups. You could be hacked, there could be hardware failure, there could be software failure. There are many different ways your site could be rendered useless without a backup. When that happens, you have to start from scratch and rebuild everything you've got from nothing. No one wants that, least of all the person who has to do the rebuilding. There are a few ways to back up WordPress. Perhaps the best way is to do a backup of your entire web account. If your hosting provider provides cPanel, Plesk, or any number of other management software suites, you can quite easily back up your entire hosting account and restore it at will through the software backend they provide. Alternatively, you could use PHPMyAdmin, also included in most web management suites, to export your entire database. Then you can just download the whole folder where the site resides from your FTP client, and you have both the database and the file structure that you can use to replace the hacked version. Let's take a quick look at PHPMyAdmin to look at exporting your database. You'll find your database in the column on the left. Click that link. Then you'll see the database load, and the tables should appear on the right. In order to export this database, you'll click the Export tab. And from here, just do a quick SQL format and click Go. That will open a download window, which is the raw SQL of the file of your database. And that text file that it downloads is the entirety of your database with all of your data and all of everything. So this is what you need if you ever have to restore your site from a backup. Now, if you do have to restore your site from a backup, go to the Import tab. From here, you will browse to the file, the SQL file that you downloaded when you exported. And after you do that, most people can just click Go. These more complex options are primarily for people that are using a non-standard database format and won't be applicable to people using WordPress. And once you've imported from here, your entire database will be restored, all data intact. Now that's how to do a backup at the lowest level possible. However, if you'll think back to when we spoke of the Tools menu, you'll remember that there were import and export buttons there as well. Let's take another look at that. The export page, once you click the download export file, will output an XML file that contains all your data, and the import page will import that XML. The import does work, but in my experience it can become rather unreliable when using plugins that add tables to the database. It's been more reliable for me to do a raw database backup. You should experiment to test your mileage before relying on the native WordPress import-export tools. If you're familiar with running backups, you may be asking yourself now how you might schedule a backup to run automatically. There's no way to do that natively in WordPress or the other methods I've mentioned. However, there are plugins which will schedule backups for us. We'll look at those in the next video.